Okay, question 3. The number of bacteria grown in a lab can be modeled by P of t equals 300 times 2 raised to the 4t power, where t is the number of hours. Which expression is equivalent to P of t? Whenever I see is equivalent to, that tells me that this original is the same as one of my 4 answers. So there's a lot of ways we could do this. We could use such that, we could graph these functions, or we can do what I want to do for this video to remind you how to use the store command in your TI Nspire graphing calculator. So home screen, new dot, say no to drugs, and add a calculator page. Now, we can store any reasonable value for t. The one number I try to stay away from is 2, because sometimes 2, you could get a coincidence where it's equivalent, but it's not always equivalent. It's only equivalent when t is 2, so I try to avoid that. Want something a little more obscure? So one of my favorites is pi. So I'm going to store pi as t. So I put in the pi button. Now, control and above the number 9 key is the VAR key. And that's my store command. Now, I just press the letter T, and every time the calculator sees a T, it thinks of pi. So let's do our original. 300 times 2 raised to the 4t power. And press enter. So the value I'm looking for is 1.8196 e to the 6th. So that's a pretty big number. And that if I find another answer that matches this exactly, I've succeeded. So I'll start at the bottom. I've got 300 raised to the 2t power times 2 raised to the 2t power, and I get a really big number. That's much larger than my original, and obviously not the correct answer. So now I'll try the next one up. So 300 to the t power times 2 raised to the 4 power, and I get a number a little bit larger than my original. Remember, I'm comparing everything to 300 times 2 raised to the 4t power. So I've eliminated 2 wrong answers. Now my next input is 300 times 16 raised to the t power. And notice I do get the same answer as my original. So these two things are equivalent. And it kind of makes sense because if I say 2 raised to the 4th power, I do get 16. So if you know some of the algebra, if you know your exponent rules, that might have been a hint to try that one first. Now, I did go ahead and put 300 times 8 raised to the power of t in there as well, just to show that that answer wasn't even close, to verify that choice number 2 is the correct answer for question